Family cut me off 8 years ago because my twin slept with my GF, now wants to reconnect. A family wants me to join them for Christmas after disowning me over 8 years ago. Need advice on whether to go or not to go? After being disowned 8 years ago, my family has invited me, my wife, 27 female and daughter, 1 female for Christmas after getting conflicted advice from my friends. One of my buddies told me to post my dilemma here to see what random internet strangers would say. As the youngest among 4 siblings, I am a 26-year-old male. My mother is a 51-year-old female, and my father is a 53-year-old male. Among my siblings, there are Michael, a 30-year-old male, Sarah, a 27-year-old female, and my twin brother Carl, who is 26 years old. It is important to note that my family is predominantly made up of athletes. Consequently, I have always felt like the odd one out while growing up. My dad was a star basketball player for Adidas in school. My mom played volleyball. Michael played soccer. Sarah played softball, and Carl was the star running back for the football team. I was never really interested in any of those physical sports, but rather I was interested in archery, which my family called a wimpy sport. My parents were always invested in my siblings and rarely ever attended my events to the point where I basically had to beg for them to come to my tournaments between the ages of 14 to 16. While my parents only attended one of the approximately 20 tournaments I participated in, I never felt neglected by them. However, unlike my siblings, they were never emotionally present for me. As a teenager, it bothered me that whenever I tried to discuss this with them, they dismissed me as an attention seeker. Nevertheless, this is not the sole reason why I felt isolated within my own family. When I was 15, I began dating Amy, now 25, female, who was in the same grade as me at that time. After about 6 to 7 months of dating, I introduced her to my folks. Admissible things, and they really liked her. I know I was young, but I could see myself having a future with her. Almost 3 years later, one of Amy's ex-friends told me that she had been cheating on me for a couple of months at a time. I didn't know who the guy was, but after confronting her, she told me that it was my twin brother. She basically told me that while at first she loved me, the love she had for my brother surpasses that. Later that day, when I confronted Carl at home, I was so enraged that I sucker pushed him and knocked him out. Although I acknowledge my wrongdoing and resorting to violence, after years of pent-up anger towards him and the rest of the family, it all finally erupted. Thankfully, my family chose not to pursue legal action, sparing me from being tried as an adult in court. Consequently, I was sent to reside with my paternal aunt, a 48-year-old woman who had become estranged from the family and resided in a city approximately 2 hours away. From then on, I have not had any contact with them. At first, it was tough, but later on, with support from my aunts and her husband at 48 male, it moved on from wanting a relationship with them. I transferred to a different high school and attended a university in my aunt's city and graduated as an electrical engineer. I later met my wife and got married to her name at the time of my wedding. Thought about inviting them, but went against it because I did not want any sort of drama to my wedding from that point. Me and my wife bought a house an hour away from my aunts and were blessed with a daughter a year ago. About a week ago, I received a Facebook message from a mother and father wanting to reconnect over Christmas at their house. I told them that I would consider it as I possibly have other plans, but would give them a clear answer soon. Later on, both Michael and Sarah sent me friend requests, which felt weird to me. My wife has told me that if I decided to go, she and my daughter would spend Christmas at my father-in-law's house as she does not have to deal with unwanted stress as she is 2 months pregnant. I concur with her viewpoint. Those who are reading this, I am uncertain about whether I should make an attempt to mend my relationship with my family or not. I am deeply conflicted about which course of action to pursue. On one side, there is a possibility that they regret their actions towards me and wish to offer an apology.